Hey everybody, this is Lena from Ape Tech Tutorials. For those of you who are new, we teach you guys how to use Scratch to build your own games, build stuff. And today we're going to be exploring the pen extension that is provided by Scratch. And we'll be building some shapes, some basic shapes, so you guys can kind of get used to the pen, controlling that pen extension and manipulating the angles. So stick around if you guys want to learn that. And like always, don't forget to like us, subscribe to our channel, and leave your comments below. So let's go ahead and get started. So first, this is our beginners. For those of you who have never touched the pen extension, or maybe for those of you who do want to go ahead and explore into the pen extension and haven't done so much. It'll take about 25 minutes, maybe less, depending on how many boo-boos I do here and there. But it won't take that long. And then these are the skills you'll be learning. You're going to be learning how to obviously use the pen extension. You're going to be using some motion blocks. You're going to be using some event blocks and some control blocks. Here are the steps we're going to follow. Step number 1, we're going to add the pen extension. Step number 2, we're going to draw a square. Step number 3, we're going to draw a circle. And then step number 4, we're going to draw a triangle. So these are the basic shapes we're going to draw today, just to kind of get you guys used to the pen extension blocks and manipulation of the angles. So step number 1, let's go ahead and add the pen extension. Okay, so we're going to start by adding first the pen extension. So on the bottom left corner of your Scratch screen, there is this plus sign with some blocks on it. Click on that, and in there you'll see all the extensions that Scratch provides us. We're gonna go ahead and be using the pen extension, so click on that, and in there you will see all the different blocks that you can use with the pen extension. There's a lot of them. There's the erase, the stamp, the pen down, the pen up, and we'll be using a few of these kind of to explore doing some shapes with the pen extension. So let's go ahead and get started with that. Step number 2, we're going to draw a square, and we're going to add the code that we have here on the screen to that Scratch project. So you guys will see that. So we're going to go ahead and get started with drawing first a square. And the first thing we're going to do is go ahead and go to our events blocks, get our flag. And the flag, for those of you who are new to Scratch, is basically what allows us to run our program that says, when I click this flag, go ahead and run my program. And that's all it does. And if you guys want, you can change the sprite here, the character. It's up to you. I'm gonna leave it as default for now. And then I am going to set my character just to start at, let's get him to start where he's at right now, the cat. Okay, and then the first thing I want to do is to go ahead and erase all. So when I click on the flag, I want my character to be a 00 and then erase everything that's on the screen. And then we're going to go ahead and put the pen down. And we're going to set the size. So this sets out the thickness of the actual pen. I'll go with 3. Now we're going to go ahead and start the actual writing of it. So I put here move 100, or you can put whatever number you want. I'm going with 100 because 100 seemed to make the shape a little bigger. If I click on go, then he should write a line. And that's how it starts. As long as you have this pen down, which means you have put the pen down, kind of imagine that you're putting the pen down on paper, then he'll write. If you don't put it down, then he will not write. And the thickness makes that line here thick. So if I were to change this line, say to 5, it'll make it bigger. And if you notice, it didn't look like he moved, the character moved. And we'll work on that to make it look like the character's moving a little bit. But I just wanted to show you really quickly. I'm going to change that back to 3. And then I'm going to get my angle. So I want my cat to go 90 degrees. when I wanted to move 100 steps and then turn itself 90 degrees. All right. So if we do that, you'll see the cat move 90 degrees. So it'll do that if I keep doing that, right? But what I want is to go ahead and put another one of these blocks. So we want another one of these blocks here, and we want to do that 4 times. Because obviously the square has 4 sides. And for those of you who are a little more advanced, yes, you can use a loop if you want, or a repeat, but we're trying to keep this simple for everybody else. So that will make the square. Now to make the motion of the cat actually looking like it's moving, we're gonna put a weight in between each of the faces of the cat drawing. So right here. So basically this is making the cat move 100 steps, then rotating it 90 degrees, and then we're gonna wait and we're gonna make it move 100 degrees too, and 100 steps, and then rotate another 90 degrees, and we're just gonna continue doing the same thing. So it kind of looks like it's drawing the square. And now another thing that I added at the end was to just move the character off the screen. Well, not off the screen, but off the shape, so we can kind of see the shape itself. And that's up to you if you want to add that. But we're gonna, to be able to move it, we have to move the pen up. We want to move the pen from the paper up when we move. Remember when we write how we move our pen up a little so we don't keep writing unless you're doing cursive. So this allows us to move the pen up so we're not writing when our character moves away from the square. And we're going to put, I'm gonna put so I want him to be pointing 90 degrees, so I'm gonna put it like this, and then I'm just going to move it, let's see, I want to move it here. So if you physically move the character, it'll give you the coordinates where you want it, kind of like that. So we were to click this flag again, it will start drawing the square, and then it'll move away from the square. And that kind of look really quick. So if you want to, you can also add another weight in here before the pen up so that you can see it drawing the last part, and then it'll move. So that's it for the square. So let's go ahead and quick summary of this. When the flag is clicked, I want my character to start at 0, 0. So the sprite will start at 0, 0. I want to erase everything on the canvas. I want to put the pen down and then set the size to 3. So the thickness of the line to 3. I want this character to move 100 steps, then turn 90 degrees. Then we're going to wait. And then we're going to do 100 steps again, and then 90 degrees, and then wait. And we're going to do this 4 times, and then we're just going to wait again. And you can do this in a loop for those who know how to make loops. So you just put one of those repeat loops things, and you grab this part here, and you put 4 there. And that would do the same thing. It's shorter code, but it does the same thing. And that's it for that. But we're gonna leave it with the other portion for you guys. But this is the 2 options. I'm sure there's other ways of doing a square, but this is the way I am showing you guys how to do a square with the pen. Now let's move to the next one. Step number 3, we're going to draw a circle, and this is the code that we're going to be using to draw a circle. Now let's show you guys how to draw a circle. So again, we need the flag, and we're going to erase everything. Well, first let's put our character where we want it. I'm gonna put it at 0, 0 again. And then I'm gonna erase all. I'm gonna put the pen down again. And I'm gonna make the thickness. You can make the thickness any size you want. It depends what you're looking for, obviously. And then in this one, we're going to be using a, we're gonna move it, let's say, we're gonna move here, and we're going to move, let's say 20 steps. And we're going to move at like a 20-degree angle. You can move at a 15-degree angle. It just depends how big you want your circle, or the radius of your circle, right? So if I were to do this, the cat's only gonna move a little, and you can barely right there see that line, right? It moved, it drew the line, but it didn't quite make the circle. So the way to make the circle is we're gonna go ahead and use that repeat loop, and we're gonna put this stuff in there. So you can put play around with these numbers to see what makes it turn into an actual closing circle. So as you can see, my circle didn't quite close all the way, so I'm gonna add maybe another 10 repeats in there and see if my cat can close the circle. So it went over, so I probably only need about 25. There we go. And again, it's your preference if you guys want to move the character off the screen, off the shape. So in this case, I am going to put the character here. So I'm going to turn it 90 degrees. And I'm going to put the character to go into that position there. And before we do that, make sure you put the pen up block, because that will make, if you don't do that, then it will write on the screen a line that goes down that way. Ta-da! So there you go, there's the circle. And finally, step number 4, we're going to draw a triangle. And here you can see the code that we will be using to draw the triangle. Okay, so now we're going to draw the triangle. So let's see, let's go ahead and put the flag again. And I'm just clearing the canvas right now. But you can, guys, those who are a little more advanced can actually call different functions to create different shapes. I'm just doing kind of like a quick tutorial for you guys to know how to manipulate the pen itself. And then we want to start our character. Let's start it at 0, 0 again. And in this case, I wanted a point at 90. Let's see. And then we're gonna erase everything again, because first thing we want to do is erase everything. I'm gonna bring the pen down to put it down on the actual canvas, and then set the size. If you don't set the size, it will automatically be 1. But if you want to set the size to a different size, then you should put this block in there. And then we're going to go ahead and so the triangle is a little more tricky. Trying to look at my notes over here. I had to put a weight in there because it wasn't doing it correctly. And then we're gonna move. So you move first 100, then you're going to rotate 90, and then we're going to do another weight, And then we're going to move another 100. And so far, this is what we have. So that's what we have so far. So now what we're going to do is do another weight. And then this is the tricky part. I kind of had to play with the angles to kind of figure out what degree I needed here. But if you kind of look at it and you can play around with this one. So let me put 120 so you guys can see what I mean by play around with it. And then I also had to play with the size of it. So we're gonna put, let's for now put 120, right? We'll put 120 and 120. And let me show you what it does. And at this point, it's not a triangle at all. So you kind of play with the angles here to make this line go more this way, and then the steps to make it touch over here. So I found out that for this size of the triangle that I was doing, I needed about 135 and 140 steps. And if we move them out of the way, we can see a triangle. So the last thing I'm going to do is go ahead and move my character. So we're going to do the pen up. We're going to do put the character facing 90 degrees direction, and we're going to put him at this location. So there you go. It makes a triangle and then moves away. And for those of you wondering what exactly does pen up do, this is what pen up does. If I were to not put the pen up in there, then this is what was going to happen. It'll make the triangle, but then write the line. So you have to put the pen up, unless you want a line there. And obviously it all depends what kind of things you're doing and what you're trying to create with that. So there it is. Ta-da! And that's how you draw a triangle. And there's multiple ways, obviously, of drawing triangles. You can, or shapes in general. Explore with the blocks, try them out. But for a quick one, we basically just use the erase, which erases the whole canvas. The pen, which puts the pen down on your actual canvas. The size to change the thickness of that line. And then the pen up to move the pen off the canvas so we don't continue drawing in this tutorial. And there's other blocks here that we will explore later on. They're just color changing or different things, but we'll look into those more later. And yeah. Alright guys, so this took a little long. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It's just showing you basics on how to use the pen extension blocks, how to draw your own shapes, because with shapes you can actually draw other stuff. And I feel giving you the ability to be able to draw like a little circle, a square, and a triangle. You can draw many different things. So go ahead and explore and see what you guys come up with. Link your projects below, or your ideas, videos, whatever you guys come up with, just link it below so we can see it for you guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Like always, don't forget to subscribe and like us, and leave your comments below. I'll check out every single comment you guys have and every project you guys have. And thank you so much for joining us.